Music heals our souls. Thank you for tuning in another episode of The Insight. I'm your host Amber, and angihamba nendlovukazi Mawande Mdluli. Thank you for joining us, Mawande.
Hi, thank
How
you
are
for
you,
having me.
Bestie?
I'm good.
You're
I'm
beautiful
good.
today.
Thank you, Bonga.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And taking your time as us joiner to The Insight, and tell people about you guys, Yeah. So let's just get straight to it. Having to jungle schoolwork and work at the same time, and also your life, getting your life together since the outbreak of COVID-19, how has it affected you?
Before, obviously, it was hard having to do everything. I mean, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I have to come to school. At first, I actually thought maybe this wasn't such a great decision. I should have maybe picked one. And then COVID happened, and now the depression kicks in.
Oh my goodness.
So it became even harder because everything school related started being a drag because I couldn't do what made life easier. And by easier, I mean what brought money to the table and made my day-to-day life much easier. But all in all, like I always say, we really don't have a choice. You have to make what is on your plate work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to just go with everything.
You have to do what you have to do.
And make it work.
You definitely do.
And then having to study at home, go affected kanjani, and knowing very well ukuthi asimelanga size on campus unless you are being called to come to campus for your face-to-face lectures. That's what they call it nowadays.
Yeah. Being in an environment with your peers, your fellow classmates, makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because we don't all have the same strengths. And for me, I think that's what I struggled with the most. Having to be alone in this. First of all, there's no drive.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're like, should I not? At some point, I was falling asleep during lecture.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been so much better. I had people around me, giving me that support and giving me that, that drive, something that will push me to do better, and if I'm struggling with something, I know I can go ask Amber.
Yeah.
And that's encouraging on its own because, it's so hard to struggle on your own. It's very discouraging. So for me, that's been the hardest part. And I guess this year's been a little bit better.
Yeah.
A tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. Siyago, I say my students, guys.
Listen,
Please. Kuma situations are kanje. So having to study for media, yini act driver into going into media actually, choose industry, okay, media, this is what I want to do.
So initially I was studying law.
Yeah.
And my second year I dropped out and I pursued my career in music. I focused in that and it was doing well until I was introduced to the world of radio. I'd never given it thought. It's never something I thought I'd do. It was just, by the way, I'd listen to radio because Nje.
Yeah.
I remember we had just released our album with Khanyile, and we were doing tours where we were promoting and stuff, and we were going radio station. I met Dineo Ranaka, guys. She's amazing. I love her. And many of them. And I just sit and observe and just be on some. This is actually cool. Another thing is that I'd be so involved in the interviews because in our group, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I always ended up being the person that speaks for the team. And then Kai obviously speaks for himself. And I realized that it's something that I could do. But more than that, I realized actually I love this.
Yeah.
And I could wake up every day and do this. And so that's when I did my research and found out about Boston Media House. And, well, initially it was to do radio.
Yeah.
Through Boston Media House and my course, I was then introduced to the world of media.
So how was it at home? Because, changing from being a law student, because it's the mess, everybody has to be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a lawyer, a police officer, social. I'm a field as introduced just because maybe they don't matter. How was it? Also it's okay. I don't want to do law anymore. This is what I want to do. Entertainment. Maybe it's entertainment. But especially at a black home,
black and religious.
Yeah. I love outgoing entertainment. You club. There's more to it. How was it for your parents and you, what, law, it's not me?
It was difficult because I first had to come to terms with the fact that this is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And that was also hard for me because I was persuaded to doing law, but in a way, I believed that it's what I wanted to do. And being, I mean, there are 3 of us, well, 5 of us, but in our home in Dlini, it's my sister, myself, and my brother. And my sister's already a musician. But it was so expected of her because she was the artsy child even in high school. I was always the academic child, like always. I was just very talented, and I loved singing at church. Until I was frustrated in my degree. I was so frustrated, and I was failing because I don't like what I'm doing. It's difficult, and I'm not even giving it as much heart as I should be. And so having to tell my parents, I thank God that they understood, but it was difficult for them to come to terms with it, as it still is now. My father's a pastor, so they expect my life to be a certain way. And once you're in entertainment, you're exposed to different things. And I think it has also taught me who I actually am, you know, and I've become comfortable with that. And it's very uncomfortable for them, you know, because I'm a lot different to what they've expected. Of course, I'm not going to go into depth because that's going to take forever. But it was very, very difficult, and it's an everyday thing. Every single day we wake up and we learn. I need to, you know, to strike a balance. I need to make my parents happy a certain way, but now they need to understand and kind of meet me halfway. So I do it both. And for them, having to come back and now say, guys, I think I've discovered what I want to go study at school. Please, may I now enroll, Ganje? That kind of made them happy because to parents, mon is difficult, it's everything, you know. So that's made things a little better, but it's not easy. Even today, it's not.
And talking about it difficult, as you mentioned, like having a qualification, we graduate, a whole graduate, and because we know nowadays, if ever ungena information, you would say, how am I going to get into the industry that I've studied for? Like, kubanzima. Doesn't that strike you like, okay, ngiyafunda ukufunda and ngiyabona ukuthi ngizoqeda esikoleni, but what's next?
Yo, it gives me hectic anxiety. It really, really does, because you don't want to waste your time. And I'm not saying that sometimes I feel like I am. No, I know I'm not. But sometimes I fear that it may happen. Like there's a possibility after everything, I may not get the job that I want, you know. Or if I do, I'll get it very, very late and I'll be so run like energy. You know, the fire that was once there has like died down, because that does happen, you know. Indlela can be so long that katas. But you know, one can only hope and find ways of making the industry work for you. You know, make it work for you. I'm still discovering ways as to how, but I mean, this is one of the ways. You know, you guys have started something. You guys don't know how big this might be. You know, so you guys don't need now for someone to hire you if this were to blow up, and you'll make it blow up. Just that as an example, you know. But I don't lie, it really, really does give me anxiety. It scares me a lot, as it should for anyone. The unemployment rate in South Africa is peaking, and it never stops. So I don't think anyone can never not be uncomfortable thinking about that.
And being a driven generation that we are, like it sounded as if we are the people or the generation that will break in terms of poverty and everything else. You know, isn't there there's a child owazi ukuthi ngifundela ukuthi noma ngathiwa ngine-certificate, but then ngathola umsebenzi maybe at some random shop, be a cashier there. I'm working to ukuthi ngibuyisele u-400 rand emuva ekhaya. Like, how does that sit with you, with us? Kodwa sibe sazi kahle ukuthi siyi generation very driven and very talented as well.
It's one of those unfortunate things, but I do believe it's unfair. It's very unfair for me to think about my family before myself. And I'm not saying this selfishly. I'm just saying that I'd rather work hard and in the process of doing that, lift my family up with me, but not work hard to lift my family up, because I have a life of my own. I have ambitions of my own. And you know, sometimes this may even put you in a trap of taking a job that you don't even like, but because it's paying and you need to fix ngaligini, you end up stuck in a place. Whereas sometimes you need to take a risk and plunge into something that that doesn't seem as great as what would uplift your family for yourself. You know, so it is an unfortunate thing, I personally don't believe in it. And that's not me saying I don't believe in uplifting my family. I definitely do. But I like that my parents did not raise us to make their lives better. They raised us in a way that when we go and live our own lives, they're better than what they had. And I think that's what every single family should have for their child.
Yeah, and we end up having abazali who live their lives through ingane. Just because I didn't do this, ngikhathami, let me do this through umawande, you know. That's when they actually direct you to la befuna ukuthi wena ube khona, just because bona they couldn't do that ngikhathi zabo. And we are here just because Mawande is a singer, guys.
She is.
Mine has a nice voice, like has a nice voice within. I know every question, like everybody question J engabuza nombani. Could we actually wait for Mawande that day ezofika ngakhona solo, because siyamazi uhleze noKhanyile. Shout out to brother Kaya. Like solo Mawanda.
Look, I will, not now.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes when you tell people that you will, they put so much pressure
on you.
And I believe in you can't give people something when you don't have anything to offer.
Yeah.
I can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So if my cup is still empty, it needs to be filled.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, as you know, openly, I'm a Christian. So I'm a firm believer in doing something because I'm appointed by God. If God has not filled my cup to a place where it overflows, there is nothing that I can give anyone. So until my cup is at that point where it's overflowing, and Nami, I feel this burning where I'm just like, you know what? I have so much right now. I need to take this out. I need to take this to the world. People need healing. People need love. I need to share this with them. I will not. So until that time comes, because I know it's coming. I know what I'm called for.
Yeah.
I know what I'm called to do. I will not. But girl, keep your eyes and your ears open, because something is gonna come.
Something is gonna come, guys. Guys, something's gonna come. She has a nice voice. She has an amazing voice. So lastly but not least, we always have this question, like, academically and the real world, isn't this fundiswa eskoleni, and the real world, like when you have to face the real world, do they actually come, like, do they work together, or it's a total different thing when it comes to academic, and it's a total different thing for real world?
It definitely is. And not because the academic field is maybe faulty or in some way it's not planned out in a way that works for us, but the industry itself, the way in which it works, academics don't matter. They really, really don't, unfortunately. So if you're studying to be on radio, it's not going to work for you. If you're studying to equip yourself that once you are on radio, then obviously you'll be 10 steps ahead than umuntu who's just there out of pure talent. Talent with no skill is really nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a yes and a no type of thing. I don't need school to go pursue my dream on radio, but I want school so that I be a better radio personality, or I have a lot more to offer in that field than a person that didn't.
It was really good, guys. Like, it has been great to have her, and to umuntu ofuna ukwazi more about Mawande, and keep an eye on that single, music, radio presenting, or whatever. Bamthola Mawande.
Excuse me. Okay, on Facebook, Mawande Mdluli. Instagram, Mawa_Indlovkazi without an I.
Listen.
And on Twitter, it's Mawa_Mamdluli. And yeah, I'm on YouTube as well. But you know what? Go to my other socials, you'll catch the link.
Guys, please go follow Mawande. I'm your girl, Miss Amber. We're wrapping it up. Your favorite song? Shy Leona, before we leave.
I don't have a favorite song. I've got a lot of songs that I like.
Yeah.
A song that I think is relevant right now is Amanda Black, Amazulu. The lyrics are insane. It's just my prayer for everyone that may the Lord just open up the heavens and bless each and every one of us.
Till next time, guys.